Now, the question that has been plaguing itself for generations in people's minds is not what is Impressionism, but for me, I decided to do some research on it, and it's actually quite interesting. So basically, back in the 1800s, in France, I believe, some dudes at a college, they were like, "Yeah, let's participate in this art fair this year, right?" Way back when, in the 1870s, 80s, and 90s, people really liked realism, which was the whole point of it was to hide your brush strokes, make it as real as possible. But there was this dude. His name was Monet. Monet and a band of like three other guys or something. I can't remember their names because Monet's my favorite. But basically, they banded together and they were like, "What if we just took that and threw it out the window?" And so they created Impressionism. And Impressionism was the exact opposite. Rather than focusing on the realism and the direct details of every single bit of the piece in the work, it focused on brushstrokes and making sure that those were visible to kind of impress the idea of things rather than explicitly state them. And that meant there was a higher focus on mood and stuff like that. Well, people really didn't like that. And actually, the reason why we have Impressionism as the name of it is because Claude Monet, his first Impressionist work, a real famous one, was called Impressionist Sunrise. And it's definitely, you've probably seen it before. I don't have access to video editing software, so I can't post a picture of it up here. But basically, it's really beautiful. It's actually really nice. But yeah, but people in the newspaper, they were like critics, and they were like they hated it, and some hated it, some loved it, and it was very controversial. It was considered scandalous back in the day, which I find very interesting, and it's genuinely interesting. But basically, Claude Monet he created that Impressionist Sunrise, and some critic he was in this like daily journal or whatever. I don't know, it was probably French, but he was like, "The Impressionists strike again." And it was meant to be a very demeaning tone, but Claude Monet heard that and he was like, "You know what? That's not a bad idea." So artists called themselves impressionists, even though that name was used as a derogatory term. Now, musicians for the impressionist movement, Claude Debussy, for example, didn't like that term, so he was like, "I am not an impressionist." But hey, you win some, you lose some. And with the Impressionist movement, that couldn't be more true. Have a great one, guys.